Oh, great. You're back, or I'm back. I never left either. But talking about shared values, for thinking about especially intrinsic motivation, that piece that's harder to get to because it's obviously inside another person. If we're trying to figure out how we can create a culture and climate of motivation, thinking about shared values. So just we'll get into some activities here in a minute. Thinking about our own core values, not the core values of the organization, which is a separate discussion, but we each have our own core values, and those core values are things that we don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about, so we don't often explore them necessarily. In fact, I very often in other classes have asked people if they've ever done the exercise that I'm about to do with you, and very rarely do people raise their hands, but I think it's such an important thing to do. Because our core values are what really motivates us to behave in any particular way, positively, negatively, around the outside world. And again, most people don't really ask themselves what those things are. The easiest way I've found to access within myself what are my core values is to ask, when somebody else does a thing that really upsets me, why is that upsetting to me? And so I'll tell you just kind of a simple little story that I tell often, which is, when I learned over time that one of my core values is consideration of others, and that really spills over into every aspect of my life. So the easiest places to identify it would be probably my career history, right? So I started out as a teacher because I thought that helping other people who maybe didn't get the advantages that I got in life, that I couldn't not do that. I had to do some sort of work that somehow took into account that other people's experiences weren't the same as mine, and do work in spaces that that I thought were contributing to their well-being, because I would be considering that their experience wasn't my own. So that would be a big obvious one for my career, but it also plays out in really maybe interesting ways in my daily life. So living in San Francisco, a big city, at least in terms of a dense city in terms of population. I noticed over time a pattern of behavior that I get probably overly upset at people who don't share the sidewalk. They're just out of curiosity. Is this just me, or does anybody else find it obnoxious when people take up the whole sidewalk and then you have to move? Is that just me? Or is it? Because I'll go on for blocks cursing a person about, Your Highness, I'll get out of your way, and all these things. And that is conflicting with a core value that I hold, which is, I want to be considerate of other people. Krista, you're with me? Thank you. Because I watch other people walk around and they just step down and step up, and it doesn't seem to bother them. For me, I'm always thinking like, well, I was trying to consider, your need to share the space, so I moved. Why couldn't you move a little bit? And that's just me. That's someone else. For clear, slower sidewalk traffic should go to the right. I agree. Let's operate like a highway. Well, the the place where this popped out for me most strongest was when I was in college. I did a semester abroad in Spain, and they don't have, like, I think we do the sort of mimic highway traffic, like people go to the right and on whatever direction they're going. And in Spain, and then later I saw this in China, there aren't those same rules, and people just kind of mill around all over the place. And I kept getting really frustrated by that, because I thought people weren't respecting my desire for personal space, and B, just the desire that we all have to share the sidewalk. But anyway, all of that I've kind of traced back into consideration for others. And if I perceive, rightly or not, that you're not considering me, that's a that's a capital offense in my book. We should always be considering the experiences of other people and trying to understand them. But so that's one of mine. And there are many others. So we're going to do a little exercise, and I'm going to actually do